It looks like Overwatch might be getting snapped away by Marvel and permanently dusted. So Marvel has a brand new team-based PvP game on the way, and I am super hyped. The game is called Marvel Rivals and will be a 6v6 third-person shooter using a ton of Marvel characters, some of which you would know very well, and some of which you would have no clue who they are. And the game's design looks amazing. Everything from the character models, the attacks, and the environments, they all look spectacular. We've had a lot of story-based Marvel games, and we know there are more on the way, but none that would fall under a competitive PvP team game like League of Legends or even Overwatch. And speaking of Overwatch, this game looks eerily similar to Overwatch, but honestly, I'm fine with that. Overwatch 2 left a big gaping hole that someone needed to fill, and it looks like Marvel is up for the task. This game has so much potential that I don't even know where to begin, but let's start with the characters since that'll be the biggest draw for people. Unlike Overwatch, Marvel already has a big install base with its fan favorite characters, and while I myself loved the characters in Overwatch, as time went on, they didn't add too many new characters that were all that great. And not every character got to have a deep story cinematic like the others did, and these cinematics gave us compelling reasons to like the characters beyond their gameplay and style. Marvel, on the other hand, has the advantage of multiple stories spanning across all their characters, so people are going to be invested in roster building right off the bat. The characters that have been confirmed so far are Iron Man, Rocket Raccoon, Star-Lord, Groot, Mantis, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, Namor, Magneto, Magic, Storm, Penny Parker, Luna Snow, Loki, Hulk, Punisher, Hela, and Spider-Man. Now, concerning Spider-Man, I'm very happy to see him here. Not sure what's going on with the video game contract side of him since the newest Spider-Man games are PlayStation exclusive, and that terrible Avengers game had Spider-Man only appear on the PlayStation version, but I'm glad to see him here for everyone to enjoy. Now, concerning the roster, I think this is a solid starting lineup so far, with fan favorites and the literal Who characters. I've always loved when characters nobody knows about appear in big roster games like this, because it gives you the chance to actually get to know and maybe even like them. At least that was the case for me when I was younger with Ultimate Alliance. There were characters I never knew about, and that game introduced them to me, and I ended up loving them. As for future characters, Marvel's roster is very big, and when they might eventually hit a speed bump concerning characters, there is a solution that comes with the lore of this game, found on Marvel Rivals' official website. It seems that Doctor Doom fought his 2099 counterpart, and this caused multiple universes to merge into a time stream entanglement. So with alternate universes colliding, this would mean we can get different variants of heroes and villains we know and love. They would most likely have different movesets and character designs than the other counterparts, but I don't think that'll happen, at least not for a while, until we're further down the road for this game's lifespan. I don't think they want a roster filled with one character just yet. I mean, even Fighters took its time putting in all those Gokus.
Select your fighter! Goku! All right! Goku! This is what it looks like. Goku! Hi! Select your fighter! Goku! Goku!
I can't give in now. Everyone's counting on me.
Goku!
For the Zero Mortal Plan.
We know the MCU has been going nuts recently with the multiverse stories, so it makes sense that the game would focus around this, and it is good for roster building at the very least. I think the only person missing from the starting lineup that I find odd is Captain America, since he and Tony were pretty much the front runners for the Infinity Saga in the MCU. But if they're just taking their time making Cap a solid character, then that's fine with me. And like I mentioned with smaller characters getting the spotlight, I would love to finally see Devil Dinosaur and Howard the Duck be playable at some point. The mechanics of the game look interesting as well, with some of the characters showcasing what they can do in the trailer. There are even some abilities that remind me of Overwatch as well, like with Doctor Strange opening a portal to teleport allies to a different position on the map. Kind of reminds me of Symmetra. And even in this image, we see Punisher setting up a turret, so maybe he could be a cross between Soldier 76 and Bastion. They're also going to be adding destructible environments, which I think, depending on how far they take it, this could be interesting, because maybe you could open up shortcuts to objectives by destroying certain areas on the map. There will also be different game modes, but there's not a lot of information on that as yet. The names of these modes are Convoy, Domination, and Convergence. I'm pretty sure with a name like Convoy, it would be similar to the payload stuff in Overwatch. I'm not sure about the other two though. They also showed off that there will be characters who can team up for special attacks. I think this is a great idea and reminds me of the team attacks in Ultimate Alliance 2. I hope with the team attacks though, they keep them broad enough that you can have a ton ton of different characters on a team who can still synergize well together instead of seeing the same characters in unison over and over again. The game is being developed by a company called NetEase Games, and I'm unfamiliar with their work even when I looked up what they had previously done. But I'm kind of happy to see a new developer I know nothing about make something that looks this good, instead of an already established big name company who would just end up milking this thing and letting it die off. I'm not pointing any fingers here, but you know what I'm talking about. I am glad to see this game exists among already existing team-based PvPs like League of Legends and Overwatch. I think many people would agree Overwatch dropped the ball hard with its sequel, and this game could very well replace Overwatch entirely if the game is done correctly. As much as this game looks great, we'll know for sure if it is great when we get our hands on it. There is no official release date yet, but the closed alpha will take place on May 10th and go until May 20th. So far, the game also hasn't officially stated a console release just yet, but I would be shocked if this game didn't get a console release date. My final thoughts are pretty simple. It's about time we got a game like this. The last competitive Marvel game that comes to mind was Infinite, and the last big co-op adventure game was the Avengers game. Both of those games I disliked, so seeing a team-based competitive Marvel game is very refreshing for me. I also think if this game takes off, it would be cool to see a tournament level scene for this game as well. From the lore and story tidbits the Marvel Rivals team has given us too, if they added a PvE feature down the line, I would assume most people would be hyped for that as well. I mean, most people were excited for the PvE addition to Overwatch 2, and sadly that never happened. I think a lot of Marvel's games have great storytelling, and I think not putting in a story-based mode to play cooperatively with friends would be a missed opportunity. Seeing all the heroes teaming up to stop the Doctor Dooms would be really fun to play out. I think if this game lands well and doesn't try to pull the wool over anybody's eyes, this could be a game that Marvel rides high for a very long time. All the components are here for a successful game. Now we must play the most boring game of all, the waiting game. I only just found out about this game and wanted to do a video about it in case anyone else was like me and hadn't heard about this game as yet. And I just can't stress enough how excited I am to try this game out. I really hope it delivers in making a fun but also competitively solid game. Overwatch had its time and I did enjoy it, but with the lack of updates, not putting in content they said they would, Blizzard's real life issues, and the sequel feeling more like a patch than a new game, it's time for Marvel to put it down for good. So let me know, what do you guys think? Are you excited? Do you enjoy games like this? And do you think this could be a game that sticks around for a long time? And also, what characters do you want to see added? Thanks for watching, and I cannot wait to play this game. Nath out. Hey everybody, thanks again for watching, and if you want to see more Marvel Rivals content from me in the future, hit the subscribe button for more. In the meantime, why don't you check out one of my other videos? Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.